Welcome to this episode of Mark Menendez Bass TV. A little snap, crackle, pop maybe? We're gonna try topwater here first thing in the morning. Stay with us. Well, you know, when your granddaddy used to take you fishing, you'd always start the morning with something on top. Something popping, splashing, gurgling. It's always fun to catch a big one on top. So I thought, you can see there's not a ripple on the whole lake. I thought maybe we'd try a little KVD Splash, which is one of my favorite topwater baits because I can do so many things with it. I can pop it, I can make it walk, I can make it swim, I can do lots of different things with it. And the bigger version of the bait, doggone those good, just like that one did. That one came up and got him. He came out of the water to get it. Oh, he is just wearing it all over. It's the way you want him to get it. It's a good way to get my morning started. Get up here, Junior. Look how fat that fish is. That is a chunk. Here we are, early summer, and that one got us started on top. Gonna have to get pliers. You got it. It's gonna be a good day when you got to get the pliers out on the first fish. Came up there. You can see he just came up there and got it. Lots of things going on right now. You've got a few fish that have yet to spawn. You've got a bluegill spawn probably going on in this lake. So that little fella has not missed many groceries. Nice little old fish right there. How about that? He splashed it on the old KVD Splash. All right, number one, I'm gonna throw it right back on there and see if I can get another bite right there. You can see the way that fish was hooked. He came right up under it to get it. Got a little bit of shade left this morning. That's always a good thing for topwater. That fish looked good. Cool thing about this, see how that bait, when it pops, it throws a little water and I can walk it from side to side, just like a sexy dog or any kind of walking bait. I can do that too. A lot harder to do with the smaller version. That's why I like the bigger version the best. Then I can make a little wrist roll cast if I need to. Around cover, under cover, whatever. Make that thing stay right there in the strike zone. Speed it up, slow it down. You can do a lot of different things. And that's your job. That's your job when you're fishing topwater. It's like anything else. You have got to figure out the cadence of the day. Sometimes it's let it sit till all the rings go around. Sometimes it's moving like that. Left to right, whatever it is. You've got to figure that out every day. That's a beautiful spot right there. Heavy shade from that little tree. But he just came up and kissed it, didn't he? I mean, he's wearing it, that little fella. Think he meant to eat it? Think that one meant to eat it? He got it head first. You can't even see the bait. You're on to something here. Junior, I hope I get that out of you. This bait comes in two sizes. It comes in the larger size, which I'm throwing right now, and the smaller size, which is a little more finessey, makes a little less splash. I've got both of them tied on in a Tennessee Shed 2.0. Beautiful bait, beautiful color. I'm not real particular about my topwater color. What I am real particular about is a white bottom on it. That's a very realistic look when that fish is looking up at the bait. When he looks up at the bait like that and he sees that white belly, it looks very real to him. The top part of it is a little more for the fisherman, but it's real important to me to have that white belly on his bait. Oh, that was a good bite. He can get that. Fire that right back in there. Boy, that dude was mad at it. And he came back and got it. How about that? Comebacker. And not even a big one. How about that? Showed his colors, didn't he? 12-inch keeper, but did he ever hit that thing? Wow. We'll splash it. That was a comebacker. Hit it once, missed it, and I threw right back in there and got him. All right, little fella, get back in there. That was a cool bite. Topwater just is exciting because it's visual. You can see everything that's going on. It's a favorite way to fish. I love to catch them on topwater. It's a dicey tournament strategy. You see, I missed him the first time. He never even got the bait. Threw right back in there and got him. But it's just so dynamic, so fun, whether it's a skip and buzz, a sexy dog, or a KVD Splash. It doesn't matter. Topwater is just it's a fun way to catch them. And we've got the perfect morning for it with no wind at all. Sounds like you're throwing bricks in the water when one of those little guys eats it. Very cool. You can see I made an Olympic cast right there. And I'm using braid. I've moved to a lot of braid on topwater just for casting distance. Nothing to do with the strength. Braid floats. It helps keep the nose of that bait up so it'll act the way I want it to. But it's been a new adjustment for me, realizing that when I get a fish hooked up, I don't have to pull that hard. And if one slashes at it like the last one did, and you're feeling it all you have to do is lift up with your rod tip. You don't have to have that big hook set like you used to with mono. And you've got every one of them bites. Perfect for that braid. Oh, I reached him. Got him. I'd have never got to that fish without braid. I like it. Look at, he's got it wedged. He may not even be hooked either. Look how that fish has got that in his mouth. I think he wanted that. Get up here, Junior. I'm not sure that this one's not even hooked. Now he's got hooks around him on the top of his nose. Think he wanted that? That's when you know you've got the right thing. That little dude showed himself. Let me get that out of his mouth. I'm sure that's not really comfortable. Pair of pliers right here. Get that out of there. But he's not hooked bass, but he got the thing. Popped over there. That's why I use braid, so I can make that really long cast when I see one break the surface of the water. That's a little bass. Get out of here. Very good. That was cool. That was an Olympic cast, and he showed himself, so that worked out just right. Well, you know, a good topwater morning. It was extremely cool this morning, so it cooled down the surface of this lake a couple degrees from what it was yesterday. And that kind of invigorates those bass and kind of get a little air conditioning, you know, first thing in the morning. Water temperatures have already gone up considerably since we started. A popping bait, I have the availability to do a lot of things with it. I can keep it right there in the strike zone, over a piece of cover, in some shade, around a piece of wood, whatever it is. I can keep it right there if I so choose. I can also move it fast. You know, these baits got real popular back in the mid-70s for this retrieve right here. A reel and a pop, a reel and a pop, a reel and a pop. But over time, we've developed other ways, and I'm real fond of the walk. It has more of a bluegill shape profile than a walking bait does. You can see, let me get this thing where you can see it. It's got more of a bluegill shape to it, and it actually sits kind of at an angle in the water with the tail down. That's where your feathered tail becomes very important. And this looks like a bait fish's tail with those feathers. Those feathers get out there when you stop, they actually breathe just a little bit. So that's another advantage of the popper. The popper, like I said, I can keep it right there in that shade by just making it walk side to side. I can fish it really slow and let the ripples go away from it. The fish pulls up there and looks at it. Those tails are breathing. I'll pop it one more time. They eat it. Just a good bait that mimics shad and bluegill. That's why we did. This little lake's got both of them in it. It's got a good population of shad in it, and it's also got big bluegill in it too. That ought to be a bite right there. Oh, that was cool. He came completely out of the water. Jumped up there and got it. That was a cool bite. Not a giant, but he came completely out of the water to get that. Got a jumper there. A jumper. It's neat when they'll do that. I've had them jump completely over a topwater bait, popper like that, walking bait, sexy dog. Don't panic, don't reel it in, because he's right there and he's looking for it. Just keep moving it and they'll generally come back and just stomp it when they go to get it. That was cool. That one came straight up out of the water about a foot to get it. Rod choice is real important when choosing a topwater. I want a medium action rod that has a good parabolic bend to it, but yet it's got a little bit of fast tip to it where I can control the bait. The parabolic bend really helps when you've got treble hooks like we do with most topwater baits. So that parabolic bend, when it bends, that fish doesn't get any slack and the hooks don't pull out very often. It also, with that medium action, it becomes a very accurate rod. I can put that bait just about anywhere I want, like that. The 6/8 is a great length for me because of my height. I can make long presentations when I have to. We've already proven that this morning when one shows himself. But I really want that medium actioned rod that's got that good tip. I've got a Pro TI reel on here. It's a 7.5-to-1. I want a relatively fast gear ratio so that I can take up slack fast and I can make a really long cast, a good free spool reel like this Pro TI, where I can throw it across the lake if I have to. If one decides to eat a minnow right out there in the middle of the lake, I can get to him. Maybe not. That was a nice bite. They are getting so good when they get it. Get up here, Junior. You can see the way this one got it. He came across and got it. Healthy little old dude. Smoked it. It is a really good bite when they do that. Really good bite. As I was saying, I may have to pick up something else, but that's going to cause me to make a few more casts with it. It's really funny. Today, you've got all these real pretty little clumps of bulrushes and things down the bank, a little bit of wood. I haven't caught a fish on a piece of wood or one of those bulrushes yet. They've come about 2 feet off the bank. So is that a fish that's following that out? but every bite I've had has come vertical on the bait. So it's like the fish aren't up ultra shallow. They're just right on the edge of that break line where the bank kind of falls off, positioned right there. That was a pretty bite from a little old dude there. How about that? He's got it too. And notice with this braid, I don't pull real hard. I let the rod do all the work, and I just reel them to the boat. You don't have to fight real hard with the braid. Nice bass right there. Just don't pull real hard. Braid has 0 stretch in it, very little stretch. And all you're gonna do is pull hooks out and bend hooks. Just reel them to the boat. Aggressive little fella. That was a pretty bite. That was a pretty bite. Every bite this morning has been just beautiful. I just want to top it off with a great big one. Plug bite. Just came up and nipped it. Wet. Come up here. Little bluegill got that one. Little moongill action. That fish came down on top of it to get it. That's a fat fish. Ooh, I heard that. Where'd that action come from? Another one busting up the bank. Nice little fish right there. I switched to the old deadly 1.5 that we've got. It's high and blue, and I just couldn't push the topwater bite anymore. The bites were fewer and fewer and fewer, so went to a very subtle colored crankbait. I'll show it to you here on the next cast. It's one that I came up with years ago. And Strike King's been making this through a distributor. And it's just, to me, it's the most bluegill looking crankbait out there. This is called moongill. You see the purple in it. You see the orange. It looks just like a bluegill. So bluegill-like. And it's in a bluegill size package with the 1.5. So I picked that bad boy up. I haven't made 10 casts with it. And there you go. Got a bite. Let's keep this train rolling and catch a big one. Most of us bass fishermen think it's only good in the fall, and it's a great choice in the fall. But anytime I'm in a shallow water situation where I've got heavy cover, like logs and stumps and things like that, I go to a square bill. I use it year round. This particular log right here, I'm gonna parallel it. I'm gonna pitch the bait past it, and I'm gonna bring the bait right in that shady spot, in that darkest spot where it comes out of the water. Then I'm gonna throw across it and come under it. Those bass are gonna hide in that shade, and they may not be really active fish, but when that square bill comes by their face, they'll run out there and get it. Square bill, keep it tied on year round. Ready? Golly, that one hit it on the way out of the water. That was exciting. Getting ready to make another cast, and that one hits it as it's coming out of the water. How about that? Just about lost the rod. How about that? One of the things that you can do with your square bills to change the depth they run is line size. The bigger the line, the shallower that bait will dive. So if you're fishing cover that's in a foot of water, you don't really want this thing slamming the bottom too hard. You want it to be able to swim right by the cover. So I will take this little 1.5. I've currently got it on 15-pound line. You see I mark all my rods. 15-pound fluorocarbon right there. It's a 15-pound Invisex. Go to 17. On 15 on a long cast, this bait will get 3.5, 4 feet deep. You go to 17 feet, it's 2.5 to 3 feet deep. You go to 20, and it's 18 to 24 inches is all it's gonna go. So bigger line keeps that bait higher in the water column. At times, that makes a huge difference. Came right down the side of that thing. I've made 30 casts of that log. There's a decent fish right there. Come up here. Now, that little guy right there, most likely, was under the very bottom of that log. I've made 25 casts of that log, and actually played cat and mouse. That fish probably moved out a little further, and then when he finally got out there to the outside and the bait comes by, he becomes catchable. Not an uncommon practice with a square bill. Multiple throws. We're working with another fish, and guess what's going to happen now? I'm going to make another throw down that same log that I've been fishing for the last little bit. That feels like a little better fish. Oh yeah. That's a real nice fish. Came off that log, shade of that log right here by the side of the boat. Got moongill on him. Got the old moongill out. We're coming around this, I'm just kind of holding on, coming around this way. Come on around here, big guy. Come on around here. He's got the whole thing swallowed. Now then, oh yeah, come here. That is a nice bass right there. Come to me. Ooh, he just doesn't like that old big plug in his mouth, does he? Don't you do it, don't you do it. You're gonna try. How'd I know? Uh-oh, plug's on the outside now. Come here, come here. There we go, that's what we've been looking for. Yes, sir. Little Moon, look at that chunk. Look at that. You can smell the shad that one's been eating. You smell that old shaddy smell. There we go, got him. That's what I was looking for. The old moongill. That is a big one. Guys, I tell you what, appreciate you all being here with us today on Mark Menendez Bass TV. Little top water action, and we end it with a lunker. How about that? Y'all check us out next week, same time. Mark Menendez Bass TV. We'll teach you how to catch big ones sometimes.
Mark Menendez Bass TV is brought to you by Skeeter Boats, Seaguar, Lews, feel the difference, Strike King Lure Company, Power Pole. Closed captioning provided by Dying to Fish.